Hello and welcome to episode 427 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now, genuinely, I do say this on a lot of my episodes, but I'm absolutely thrilled for today's guest because truly, he's in probably the best rock band in the world. I absolutely adore this band and it's a dream come true to have this guy join me. So, on today's episode, I'm joined by Michael Shuman, or as you may know him, Mikey Shoes, from Queens of the Stone Age. Yes, even saying that out loud doesn't sound real. I've been a huge fan of this band for over 20 years. They're absolutely phenomenal. One of the best live bands on the planet. So to be able to sit down with Mikey, talk all about the band's history, but not only that, on today's episode, we get to talk about his brand new solo project, which is called GLU. It's absolutely phenomenal. After this episode, please take your time to go and listen to their stuff. It's amazing. And there's a brand new song which he's literally just released. It's called Boogie Man. One of my songs of the year. Nothing like I ever expected from Mikey. And it's just showing he's got that other complete level of incredible songwriting and geniusness. Is that a word? Yep, geniusness that you would expect from someone in the best band in the world. So that interview is going to be coming up in literally just a couple of minutes' time. But before we get there, on every episode of Mark and Me, I always use the intro to quickly touch base and talk about my last episode. I was joined by Shane Greenhall, the frontman from the amazing band Those Damn Crows. This interview went absolutely massive, and I think it's because the album came out this week. And as we're sitting here and this episode's just come out, they're on course to be number one in the UK album chart. So even though this episode is not Shane's, if you're listening, also go and support this band, go and listen to their brand new album, go and buy it, and let's do something really special for one of the hardest working British bands out there, Those Damn Crows. But like I said, today's episode is all about Mikey, one of the greatest bass players, songwriters, and just all-round awesome dudes out there. It's an absolute honour to have him on Mark and Me. So what I want to do now is to get straight to the interview. So here's me and Mikey talking all things music. So Mikey, welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Happy to be here.
Mikey, what I do with every guest, and I've never changed it because I think it's a winning formula, is to start by basically going on a bit of a trip down memory lane. And what I do with all bands that come on is I like to know that first album that you bought with your pocket money growing up. Maybe someone gave it you, or you worked your ass off to get $10 and bought that album. But the first one that you remember having in your hand and thinking, this is fucking awesome.
Does this not mean mommy's money?
Whatever money, however it came, pocket money, whatever you did to get that money.
Mommy and me. I remember going to pre-Costco. There was a place called Fedco. It was like the budget version of Costco.
Fedco.
You know, Costco's budget. Fedco. And I remember buying Green Day Dookie and Nirvana Nevermind.
Wow.
On cassette. And those changed my life.
So genuinely, and you can listen back to any of my episodes, the first band that changed my life was Green Day because I saw them on their Dookie tour. My parents dropped me off. I was probably about 12 and I literally walked in the venue. My parents were like, meet back here, don't talk to strangers, don't drink, don't do drugs, just go and watch this band. You're allowed to do this and then we'll see how it goes. And I'm not joking, it changed my life. Seeing When I Come Around and Basket Case, and I kept looking at the band thinking, how's there only 3 people on stage? Like, this is a wall of sound. It was fucking awesome. So we're on the same page there.
Yeah, I'm glad you say that. I saw them on the Insomniac tour at, I think, 8 years old.
No.
And my dad, myself, and then my best friend and his dad went to Anaheim, where the Mighty Ducks play hockey. Anaheim, I forget the name of it. And I remember the dads being extremely afraid because at one point we were like up in the in the arena, like up in the seats, whatever, not
Yeah.
on the floor, and Billy Joe was like, "Everyone from the seats, come down," which is basically inciting a riot, and and everyone started to, so people were just kind of flooding over us, small children, and old Jewish men, and yes, that was pretty freaky, but that totally changed my life, and I was like, wow, this is fucking wild.
Nirvana Nevermind as well. Like, I was forced to play piano as a kid, and my parents were like, you need to learn an instrument at school, you should be doing music. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. I want to play guitar. And they're like, no, do piano because it'll teach you the, foundations of music. And like, I regret it
Mm,
now. But all I ever did was go to a guitar teacher once a week and tell me, like, can you just teach me Polly? Can you teach me Come As You Are? Can you teach me Teen Spirit? I
yeah,
never actually learned the actual logistics of how a guitar works, but that album, man, to have that on cassette as your first real experience, like, you've set the bar so high.
yeah, and it's still one of the greatest. Like, you know, it changed the world, and it could have been looked at as a fad, but looking back, it's absolutely not. It still stands the test of time, which is amazing. Um, and I was the same as you with the piano. I started at like 4 and got a guitar at 7 when I saw Green Day on MTV. But I really wish that I would have stuck with piano because it really is the best instrument, for writing, especially. Because once you know, it's easier to kind of go through the different to learn different phrasings and chordal things, that will translate on every other instrument. So I really wish I would have stuck with it.
Me too.
I tried to relearn a little bit as I get older.
The thing is, now when I get older, I find things are so much harder. My brain's just not as good, and it used to like be a sponge,
It's
and you
true.
could be like, "Here's a harp," and I'd be like, "I'll play this easily." Now I'm like, I can't even. I play old video games like a Sega Mega Drive, and I can't even get past level one. I'm like, why did I turn into such a spud? Like, what happened?
I know I used to speak Spanish and Japanese, and now that it's all gone. So
Wow.
I'm with you. I
So what about live music? You did mention you got to see Green Day at a young age. Surely that wasn't the first ever gig you went to.
think it was.
Wow. I've been doing this 8 years and no one else was on the same page as me and saw Green Day. Everyone else is always like, oh, I went to see the Rolling Stones or I went to see Nirvana.
Right. Well, to be fair, when I saw Green Day, I was 7, and that's when I got a guitar. I don't think. I mean, maybe my parents took me to some show, but nothing that I remember at all. I remember that show being the first one and that's when I really, really, really fell in love with music, and I was like, "This is it. I want to do that." Even at such a young age. So I don't really think there was anything else. Yeah.
Did your parents freak out when you turned around to them and said, I want to be like Billy Joe Armstrong, I want to be like Green Day, I want to make a career and go out there and be in a band? Or were they like, look, son, this is a dream. No one's going to turn out to be like Billy Joe Armstrong. Get a real job.
No, they were fully supportive.
Oh, I love that.
Um, they liked me writing songs at a young age. They let my band that I started at that young age practice in the living room, being terrible. Who wants to hear terribly played cymbals
Yeah.
shattering through the house? So they were extremely supportive. I guess at that young age, they might have thought I would quit or give up or turn to something else, but they never ever told me to do something else.
That's awesome.
So I love it, and to this day they love it. You know, so I thank them for that.
So did you do the whole college band, Battle of the Bands, covers bands before Queens of the Stone Age? Because I know you joined them at 21, weren't you?
Yeah.
God, that seems so young. I can't believe it was that long ago. But did you have to kind of experiment and do all the covers bands? And did you do a college band before? Obviously, you then hooked up with Josh and that incredible band.
I never did a covers band or anything like that. I started writing songs again as soon as I got a guitar,
Amazing.
and I started my first band. Well, I had a band in elementary school, but then at 11, I started this band with two of my friends, and I played my first like show at this punk club in San Fernando Valley at 11, and I was like obsessed. So like making flyers, um, making my own cassettes, um, recording on my 4 track. So I did that until about like 15, and then I started a band that was the real band, I guess, or my first real band where we were playing like real gigs. I mean, they were real gigs when I was young, but ones where like, okay, this LA label signed us in high school, and we toured, and so I was already doing it all way before Queens. It wasn't just like, well, I'm in a battle of bands. There's that guy. It's not like the fucking Rockstar movie, you know. I'd been doing it, and there was a reason that I was asked to join the band because I'd been doing it for a long time, and had been playing shows and touring before that. So I had experience. You can't just go into that with zero experience.
No, of course
Not,
not.
and I didn't have that level of experience, but still, you know.
Was it even a second that you had to think about joining Queens, or was it the fact that when they ask you, you're like, "Yep," because I knew that you fucking loved them.
Ab- Absolutely not. Yeah, it was when I heard that they might be calling you. Um, I was extremely nervous and just couldn't believe it. And then there was a few steps that led up to that, but um, they came and saw me play with my band at this place, three clubs in LA, and they were all in the dark in this red booth in the back, and I knew they were coming to kind of check me out. So that happened, and then a few weeks later, they said, "We want to come play some songs with us," and I went in and I learned 5 songs, and after like 3 songs of playing with them, we stopped, and they just said, "Do you want to join the band?"
Jesus Christ.
So that was it. It was pretty quick. And I was like, "Yup." Like, I mean, it changed. I mean, yeah, that's all I wanted, and they were my favorite band.
Are you actually physically able to go back to that mental state of then being officially revealed as the new Queens of the Stone Age bassist? Because I've seen you play so many times. I've seen you at Download headlining. I've seen you at your own shows. I've seen you in arenas. It feels like you've always been part of the band.
Well, it has been 18
I
years.
know, but I saw them.
I
I
did.
saw pre you in Queen,
So
you
did
know,
I.
and
So did I.
I just can't imagine what your brain must have been like. You loved the band. I know it's not a film, but it's like you got to be in the band, and you're still there now. It must be like sometimes you must stop and think, is this fucking real?
It's a trip. I'll be honest. I'm way past jaded,
Yeah,
so I don't. I'm like, I'm in, I'm in the weeds in the thick of it. I don't. I don't. Uh, yeah, I don't. I'm not like, thank God,
no,
or I'm so lucky. I mean, I am grateful to be where I am, and for us to be together still, actually, and for us to continue to want to play, and for us to have success. I'm extremely grateful. But look, I love Nick. I love all the what happened in Queens before. Um, but the reality is Nick was only in the band for maybe 4 years,
yeah,
like, and I've been in the band for 18 years. So it, uh, it probably does seem like I've been in the band the whole time because it's a
yeah.
majority of the time,
And I mean,
you know.
when did it start feeling like you could add your mix into the records? Were you quite confident straight away? Were you thinking, I know Josh is the lead songwriter, but you've all got your part, haven't you? You're like a well-oiled kind of ship. You've all got your bits that take the responsibilities and make sure you've got your own jobs, and you're all part of this really tight unit, and you're all so talented as a group of musicians. But when did you feel you could like not just play the songs? You're like, I've got some ideas, I want to share them, and they were like, yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to put it, and that's how we operate is like a ship. Um, Everyone is vital
Yeah,
to the operation. Um, but I'd been touring I got hired to just tour on the Era Vulgaris tour. So I'd already been in the band and living with each other for 2 years. So when we decided to go start writing, I felt confident. And Josh is he's our leader, and he's very open and welcomes a democratic process. And so it's like, for songwriting, it was throw all your cards on the table, throw all your best riffs, all your best songs out there. Best idea wins. Doesn't matter who it comes from. So I felt confident to do so, not expecting that my songs, that we would write my songs. But I've always felt confident in my ability, and there's a reason that we're all there.
Yeah.
We trust each other. Um, and it's only grown, right? My role is more vital than I think it's ever been. And maybe because I'm old, I'm almost 40 now, and I started when I was 21. So maybe don't trust the kid with the business or with these certain things early on. But now I have a lot more responsibility, and I love it. And it just shows the trust and love between us all, really.
I'm truly not just saying this, and you can listen back to any of my episodes and hear what I say about bands, but bands that evolve are the bands that stick in my heart the longest. So I love bands like Thrice, I love bands like Paramore, because each album is completely different. It doesn't sound like the same band, and I love bands that explore and kind of grow as musicians and evolve. And I've said this to people before, and I truly mean it. I don't think there's a better set of musicians in a band than Queens of the Stone Age. I truly mean that. That's not kissing your ass. You are all
Oh,
absolute geniuses, and I don't think, honestly, you look at Beatles, incredible, you look at Led Zeppelin, but you guys as a modern band, I don't think there's another band on the planet. Maybe Nine Inch Nails, maybe
nah,
Nah, fuck them
nah.
guys.
So come on, let's be honest.
But
No, I'm joking.
Pearl Jam, but no, but truly, you are all like, I don't know how you've just got this incredible band that are just, there's no weak link. All of you are just top of your game, and I'm in awe when I see you live. I don't know who to look at because you were all so fucking good.
Thank you so much, man. That's really sweet. I appreciate it. Yeah, again, there's a reason that we're all there.
Yeah,
Josh is our leader, and um, yes, it's been the five of us. John's been there, like 12 years now, and Dean and I 18. So now, and it's locked now, but it took a while, I think, for Josh to find the right guides and support system for ultimately his vision. And it's not. I appreciate you saying that about our playing, and that's extremely important. But there's so much more. There has to be that mutual
yeah,
drive, mutual taste, and 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 just be able to be like a family and hang
yeah. That's so important, isn't it?
24/7.
Because you could have the best set of musicians that go on stage, but they fucking hate each other when they come off.
Yeah, man. We are so lucky. We love each other. We like to hang out with each other. When tour's done, we go on vacation together. It's not a Fleetwood Mac situation. I mean, I guess they loved each other too, maybe a little too
Yeah,
much. Um, but yeah, it's rare to see. And we tour with other bands. We see all kinds of bands at festivals, small bands, big bands, and it's very rare to have the relationship that we have.
it's amazing. So I suppose now, away from Queens of the Stone Age, glue is your thing. It's just you, and does it feel, and I'm not saying Queens of the Stone Age ties you down, but because that's a band, it's so well oiled, you've been in it 18 years, when you're playing, it's a Queens of the Stone Age set. Does it feel like complete freedom, that there's no expectations, there's no limitations? You can do what the fuck you want because this is your project.
Yeah, that's right. Um, I I would never not want to be in our band,
No.
but I also love so many other kinds of music. I write so many types of music, some that will never see the light of day, but I love the process. I love creating. And so this is just another outlet for me. And then, but the main reason I wanted to do it is that I love touring still. I love playing live, and Queens is a machine. And when that machine's going, it's hard to, stop the wheels. But I was in another band called Mini
Yeah.
Mansions. And so whenever we weren't doing Queen stuff, we would be full on, but you're relying on other people's schedules. And it's really hard. If people don't want to do something, you can't do it. And so I wanted some kind of outlet where I could go do shows or create whenever I want. That was the main reason for it. Um, Now, musically, it is completely different. So I'm also getting that out of it. Um, and I'd never played live by myself. So that's like a whole new challenge and a whole new experience that I'm really, really loving. Because it's hard.
Were you nervous going out there? I know you did some support dates in the UK recently, in Europe and stuff. Were you thinking, what the fuck have I got myself into? Because I don't have the big force of the band of Queens of the Stone Age standing behind me. I'm not here now with that whole huge machine. It's just down to me.
No, well, I did. So the first shows I did, I was living in London at the time. So I thought this is a good time to not be at home where all your friends and family and ex bandmates and whatever are going to come judge you. So I'm in London and I did a residency. So once a week in the month of June, I believe it was in 2022,
Yeah.
I think 2023. And I was like, okay, this is the way to do it, to figure it out. Um, yeah, without too much judgment. And that was perfect. Same venue, so you felt comfortable every week. And that was scary at that time. But now, like I just did this tour supporting Fanagram, and most of the venues are about 3,000 people. And so going out by yourself in front of that many people, you would think it'd be scarier, but I actually enjoy it so much more. Because you can't be like nervous, like, oh no, what are they going to think about you have to be confident, and you have to be like, I'm going to go fuck these people
Yeah.
up. It's kind of the mindset whenever I play a show, like, I'm going to show them what I got. I mean, look, some people aren't going to like it. I've gotten booed many times. I've gotten heckled, got shit thrown at me in all kinds of bands, all the bands actually. So you got to leave that behind and just be confident in what you prepared for this moment. So just go do what you know.
Do you think,
Um,
and it's not being harsh to people, but some people have an expectation because you're the guy from Queens of the Stone Age that you should still sound a bit like Queens of the Stone Age? Do you think people come with this mentality of, oh, I'll check him out. Hopefully he sounds really punky and grungy and, rocky.
of course,
Yeah.
of course, of course, and that's part of the reason why I went totally
Yeah.
opposite, because how whenever I think there's a couple of, I guess, side project things that I've seen, members of this or whatever, and I'm always like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's not nearly as good as the original band.
Yeah.
Rarely does that happen where it's like, oh, they're actually really fucking good, or these songs are better. Um, so why even put myself in that situation to kind of fail,
That's
honestly?
fair.
And yes, the people who just like rock music or this or just Queens would probably be into it. But I got sick of, like, how many times can I write a riff over and over and over again, or this type of song, or do this type of thing? I want to challenge myself. And if people want to come along for the ride, great. But ultimately, you're making music for yourself. And then when it's done, you put it out in the world, and then it belongs to everyone else. But the creative process and the birthing of the songs is for you.
So songs like Boogie Man, which now we've all been able to hear, has that been quite a recent song you've written, or has it been on the back burner for a couple of years? Because I know I listened to your interview with Sapnin, who I know Sean and Morgan from the UK,
Mm,
and I heard you saying that you're always recording ideas, and some can be literally 5 years old on your phone as like a voice note, and then you suddenly think,
mm.
now it's the right time, which I love, that no music to you has an expiry date.
Mm, definitely. I still like will pick up a guitar and be like a riff that I wrote 20 years ago and be like, man, can this fit? I know it's good, but I just don't know exactly like the vocal on it,
Yeah.
or I know it just needs the right delivery, and I can't figure it out. I'll put it down. So yes, that's always happening. And for Boogie Man, I've had it done for a while. Um, and I've been playing live with it. So I've been playing live, like an 8 or 9 song set, but I only had 4 songs out. So I needed other songs, and they've been done. But I also wanted them to come out at the right time, and for me to be able to give attention to the project, not just like put them out, go on tour with Queens, and let them, disappear. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. Is I have the time, um, and yeah, that's what's up with Boogie Man. It's not new.
Boogie Man, genuinely, I don't know how you could not like it. Like, it's upbeat, it's like a happy feel to it. It feels like a summer song. It's got like, I can't even describe who it sounds like. Jamiroquai, maybe, Gorillaz, decent rapping over the top. And it's like confident. It sounds like an anthem. And I'm like, surely you must be really proud of it because it just sounds fucking the production and everything. It just sounds really beautiful and confident.
Thank you so much. I am very proud of it. I'm proud of all this stuff I'm doing. Um, I didn't just whip it together. Like even Boogie Man, I remember playing that chord progression and kind of bass line. I thought it would work for Mini Mansions probably like in 2018. And I just kept that's it. That's an example. And then years later, when I'm going to write glue stuff, I was like, that's still great. And actually, that's a kind of a dance song. It kind of works for glue. And then just like, okay, well, let me just flow over the verses, and there you go, voila. Um, but I really appreciate that. I'm really proud of it. I don't think it'll be a top 40 summer smash, but I'm open to it, and I'm trying to do everything I can um, to get as many people to hear these songs as possible. But it's as most upcoming musicians know, it's extremely difficult to break through. There's only a handful of people that are going to do it, or you're going to have a TikTok song that goes viral for a second and then it has no legs, and you can't
Yeah.
sell 10 tickets at a show. So I'm also very realistic um, to how the music business is operating right now and how hard it is to get people to hear these songs. But yes, I agree. It should be a number one
It
hit.
should be on a film right now because then it would sell fucking millions. And like the big summer
Yeah,
blockbuster of the year on the trailer for like Minecraft. You have
there we
Boogie Man
go.
playing, and everyone's like, "This is great. What's the song?" And then you suddenly are the big, massive one-hit wonder, and then never live up to it again.
At this point, I'll take the one
Yeah,
hit
fuck
wonder.
it. So you're
Yeah.
talking. It must be really weird because you've got one of the biggest, most successful, absolute incredible bands in the world, and now you're launching your own thing again with Glue, and you're starting at the beginning. So I take it when you go to gigs, you're putting your mentality into the newbie, the guy who's fresh out of the gates, who's just saying, "I'm happy to meet fans. I want to go into a room, and if I get a support slot, I want people to leave that night going, do you know what, that glue was pretty good. I'm going to check them out when I get home." Your whole mentality must be like it's the complete opposite.
Yeah. It is so the opposite. We're being taken care of, and we've built it to be taken care of, and it's necessary for people to do these jobs that we don't do with Queens. But with this, yeah, I'm loading in my own stuff. I'm setting up my merch. I'm selling the merch. I'm driving my car. I'm doing it all like a stand-up comedian, uh, and I love it. It brings me joy to like do sound check,
Yeah.
like which is normally a pain in the ass. Um, I really enjoy it. It's just because it's something new. It's like going to like summer camp or something. Like it's like this fresh feeling of like something you've never experienced before. And I've done so much And you could say kind of checked all the boxes, but this is one box I've never checked.
If it is just literally a case that you can walk into a venue and you don't have to have a big crew and it is just down to you, you
Mm-hmm.
could literally gig tomorrow. You can just say, yeah, I'll do that show, because you're not waiting on four other people who need annual leave or family vacations or kids and wives. You can literally go, fuck it, I'll do it.
You just that's right. That's exactly the
Yeah.
reason. That's exactly the reason why I do it. So that when I want to do it, I can do it and I don't have to rely on anybody else. And how nice it is at the end of the gig where it's like, what does everyone want to do? Should we drive a few hours? Should we go back to the hotel? Should we do the thing? Blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. If I want to go out and have a few drinks with friends, cool. If I want to go back to the hotel room and chill, that's fine too. It's freedom, man.
It's
It's freedom, man.
pure freedom. But what's next for you then? Because obviously the single's out now. We're going to try with this podcast to get it to be the biggest selling number one summer hit
That's
of all
right.
time. But if that doesn't
You and
happen,
me.
what's the are you already putting like a new EP or an album together? Or I mean, I suppose you haven't got any pressure. You've not got a record label telling you have to do this.
Yeah, that's also correct. Yes, I have a release planned, and I feel like your first full length album is extremely important. Um, and I'm not worried about what songs go on it. I'm just like, again, I want the time to dedicate promoting it, touring it, giving everything I got to that first full length album. So that's why I've kind of been doing EPs, dropping singles until the time is right to put out that full length. But I've got the hard drives full of shit, and I can't wait to put it out. So yes, there's lots of plans. It's just about timing. That's it for
I
me.
talk to a lot of bands that have got their debut album coming out, and some people are like, well, we've done what we can and we're happy with it, and it gives us the foundation now to build on. But I'm in the same camp as you. I'm like, a debut album should be absolutely fucking monumental, because it's leaving your mark on the industry, and I don't want to put you under pressure here, but you only get one shot at a debut album.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. And albums still matter, even though it's you can garner a lot of momentum and kind of hype with singles and EPs and whatever. But an album, the press, I think fans still like they look at an album and that's what they really pay attention to. So yeah, I believe you do have one shot, and you always remember bands' first records.
Oh,
You
every
know,
single time. And like
oh, right.
Jeff Buckley Grace, like I look at that and I'm like that he's put
Mm,
absolutely everything into it. It's just a perfect debut. And I think to myself, I worry that today's generation, I don't want to sound like a granddad, I'm 43 years old, but a lot of people are very disposable with music now. You don't have I spent $12 on an album, so I'll listen to it and I'll make myself fall in love with it. I've been there buying Offspring
hmm.
albums in the 90s and thinking, fuck, this is shite, but I've spent £13 on it, so I need to fall in love with it and tell myself that it's worth the money.
Yeah,
And now I'm like, if it's on Spotify and someone says, check this song out, I'm like, it's all right, and I just miss it. So I
yeah,
worry that some bands I check out that I really admire have 7 or 8 singles, and I'm like, oh, the fucking album, I've only got 2 extra tracks now because I've heard it all. Everyone's just, you've
yeah,
given me too much. And I think, I really hope when it comes to your album, you give us that journey to go on, though. We put the headphones on and I get a good 45 minutes of just, this is the reason why track one is track one. The closer should be a really important closing track that leaves you wanting more, and it shouldn't just be filler in the middle.
yeah. I'm glad that you feel that way and you think that way because I one of my biggest loves and OCD moments is doing track listing
Yeah.
and figure because it's so important. You could have 10 of the greatest songs and you put them in the wrong order, and that album could be shit.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that. I think it's so important. And even with like my EPs, I'm like, that's important. It's only 4 songs. I'm like, what's gonna close it? So I promise you, I will do my very best
I do
to
worry.
give you a
I do worry.
journey.
I think
You worry about me? Yeah.
not you. I just
I'm
worry.
gonna keep you
I
up at
worry
night.
in general. I worry. I absolutely love bands like Biffy Clyro. I love bands like Radiohead and most recently Sleep Token. And I believe they're the bands that are still thinking, right, we need to make sure this has a purpose to be track 3. This has to be track 5, and it doesn't suddenly throw you off and you're like, what the fuck? Like, that was a terrible track. And then, oh, it's okay because this track coming up at track 8. It's so important. And I'm not saying people are lazy. I just think because record labels want a single to be huge and then, get massive numbers, sell tickets, the art of an album is just fading away.
It is. There will always be the artists though that really care.
Yeah.
And I do think you were kind of touching on it earlier, but I think actual listening to something physical, like on a physical
Yeah.
medium, is extremely important. Whether or not you're forcing yourself to like it, like you were talking about, I do think though, like by putting that on, you're making a choice to listen to something like you put on a film or something like that, right? But yes, if you can just it's on your phone, you can skip to another
It's
thing.
so true.
It does become disposable. So luckily, actually, vinyl sales have gone up a lot over the last decade, which is encouraging. Um, we'll see. We'll see how it carries over.
Well, it's really good you
Um,
mentioned vinyl because for Christmas, only a couple of months ago, my wife bought me like a proper record player. I used to just have one of these shitty little briefcase ones that was just like playing records because I used to buy vinyls for bands I loved because they were variants and they look cool. And then we got a
yep.
decent record player with some nice speakers and a nice amplifier because I was like, I need to do it justice. Like, I love music. Like, let's get a proper one. And what I am noticing now, and even though I love the concept of an album, I'm falling in love with tracks that I wouldn't have got round to. Like, I bought the Casey Musgraves album, and I think it's like track 6 because I have to listen to it before I turn it over. Is now my favorite song she's ever done. And I'm like, fuck, like,
Mhm.
where was this? Why isn't this a single? This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I love that.
So we were just talking about how great a vinyl is, and I hope that you have your album out on vinyl.
Everything you have to do it.
Yeah,
I did cassettes for my first Glue EP. Um, number one because I thought it'd be cute, and number two, I thought the vinyl plants have such a long lead time
it's
now.
insane.
It's gotten better, I think, the last year because they've started to open more plants around the world. But uh, I remember maybe a couple years ago, it was like 9 months lead time
Jesus.
just to get. So you have to get in line and wait 9 months. And a lot of times it didn't matter if you're on a major label, if you're a big band. It's like you wait in line just like everyone else. And I think that's why, like, obviously Jack White's done such a fantastic job with the machinery he's bought and the plants he's built. And I think that was a big catalyst for a lot of new plants. So I love him for that. He's such a genius in keeping the old mediums alive and ultimately changed the business because now there are so many more plants.
We talked about obviously an album coming out in the near future, and then hopefully getting to see you because I missed you in the UK. I wasn't free, and now I've been like, oh fuck, I wish I'd gone. But hopefully it won't be too long until you announce that you're coming back. Especially when you don't need to worry about the rest of the band getting time off. Um, but I did wonder if you still had any passion or desire to do some more scoring. So is there certain movies or I know that certain directors will always work with their friends and they get this relationship that's so strong that you always get like David Fincher always having, his man. And I wondered if there's still a desire for you to want to go out there and add your musical mind to help a story be told through sound over the video.
If you asked me a couple of years ago, I'd say I want to do a lot more of it. Um, I still would love to do some, but I did two films with one of my best friends as the director, and it was such a great process, and we had such a good time. Um, Not because I love talking to him all the time, and we have the same taste. and I wanted to help his vision come to fruition. But I've done a few other films and other kind of TV stuff that I didn't know the people, and I got hired. And honestly, the process, I didn't love it
No.
because you're just a cog in the wheel, and it's so time consuming, and there's so many demands and deadlines and all that stuff, and
Is the fun not there?
yeah, it starts to take the fun out of it. But if I could find, if my friend was doing another film, or I found another director that I really, really loved and respected, and he respected me as well, I'd be more than happy to do that. Um, but it's a huge undertaking.
If Christopher
So
Nolan rings you next week as like, look, I've got this new film coming out. Do you fancy just coming and trying out some sounds? You're not going to say no, are you?
I'm not gonna say no, but you know what that means? That means don't do anything for another 2 years. You know what I mean? Like
Josh,
what's the
I've
guy
got some bad news.
Yeah, Ludwig, what's his name? Who does all this stuff now? Who did Oppenheimer, and
Yeah.
he's a badass, and he started by like he was a songwriter and producer, and he produced that Childish Gambino record, that great one, and now he's doing that. It's like he ain't doing anything
No.
else. Like that's it. Like that is 2 years, and he's a master, right? Like I could do some score stuff that's like cool sounds or song based stuff, but I'm not writing full orchestral
No.
arrangements that go on for an hour and a half.
Leave that to Hans
It's
Zimmer.
just
Just you do that, I'll do my thing, you know.
exactly. And that's okay. That's okay to know like you know what you're good at, and your place in the music world.
Is there anything that you feel you still want to tick off? Is there anything away from music? Do you want to write a book one day? Do you want to talk about your tour diaries? Is there art? Is there something else in you that you still feel there's a milestone to tick off? I mean, you've got a solo album. You're in the biggest band out there right now. Is there anything else you're like, I feel like I just need to do that?
There's no other. I definitely don't want to write a book. I'm a terrible. Um,
Do you want to start being a podcaster?
I've thought about that. Um, I do have some ideas for some film stuff,
Yeah.
and whether that's acting or producing.
This is
Little
Florence.
dog.
Yeah. She
Hi,
she always gets
Florence.
on podcasts. Like towards the end, she's like, I need to make my cameo.
Oh,
17.
I love pups. 17.
Yeah. Yeah,
Congratulations.
she's
I got my almost 15-year-old dog next to me.
amazing.
Yeah.
But she's made it on every. I had Enter Shikari on the other day, and I was like, it's going really well. The last minute, she like jumps up on the camera, and I'm like, okay, you've got onto YouTube, like you've had your moment. And today, she's just done it.
She's probably like, Dad, it's been an hour, and hours
Yeah.
like the max,
Stop
without
asking him
attention.
shit questions. Like he doesn't want to do a book. Like get some fucking original questions.
Oh man, yeah. Um, Now I just want to get a few more dogs. Um, yeah, some film stuff.
Acting or
I always
producing,
thought,
yeah.
hey, yeah, like maybe when I'm like, I always thought when I'm like in my 40s or 50s, I'll do like acting the way like I'm not comparing myself to these people, but like the way that Bowie or Tom Waits did acting, where it's like
Yeah.
they would do one thing every like 6 years and just be in something really cool and weird, and just pop their head in. That's kind of like
Like David
I'd like to.
Bowie and The Prestige, just a little bit where people are like, that was cool.
Yeah, totally.
Well, if
Yeah, I
Christopher
love that.
Nolan's listening,
Or an
yeah,
extras, which is a great episode. You seen that episode
unbelievable,
with
yeah,
Bowie?
absolutely amazing.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah,
I love that he
so
didn't
good.
give a shit. Like he let Ricky Gervais basically just ridicule himself, and he's just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah, I think at that point you're old enough and you've done everything else. You've been cool enough for 70 years or whatever, and you're just like, okay, well, let's be in on the joke.
Well, if Ricky Gervais is listening, if Christopher Nolan's listening, I think you might get a phone call in the next week or two.
Please forward them my email. I would love it.
My final question, and I ask this to everyone that comes on, I'm conscious of time, and obviously I really appreciate you coming on, but everyone gets the same final question. And what I do on this podcast to make it as original as I can is I ask the guest that's come on, it doesn't matter who you are, to pick a song to be played at the very end. Now, you can't pick your own song, so I'll put lots of snippets in that anyway. But why I ask it is there must be a song that in the whole history of music that means a lot to you. It might be the song you want at a funeral, it might be the song if your kid's ever born, or just means a lot to you. Mine's Jeff Buckley, Last Goodbye. But I wondered, what is a song that came to your heart and soul when I ask you the question after this episode's all edited and ready for the world to listen to? One song's going to
Yeah.
play, and I wondered, Mikey, right now, put you on the spot. What's the one that came to the kind of top of the pile?
I have one. I had an artist that I was going to say, but this song, uh, I guess no pun intended, but this song is by Elliott
Oh,
Smith,
wow.
and it's called "Everything Means Nothing to Me."
I love Elliott
And
Smith.
yeah, he's maybe my number one. Um, and I could choose all of his albums, all of his songs, but that song in particular it's basically like a Baroque piano
Yeah.
piece. And when I was getting back, try to learn piano again during COVID, I was like, if I can just master playing this song, I think I'd be able to have the chops to continue. And I did. I learned it. Anyway, I think it's the most beautiful song, the most heartbreaking song. And I love it so much.
That's a bit of a sad one to end on, but
It's extremely sad, but you know what? Yeah, it's a tearjerker for sure.
thank you so much for your time today. It's an absolute honour to have you on. Genuinely, you've heard Queens of the Stone Age, one of my favourite bands ever, so it's a dream to have you on. But your solo work is absolutely amazing and completely took me by surprise because I was like, I wonder what it's going to sound like, and I was like, okay, it's the complete opposite of what I ever imagined, but it's still your own thing, and I can't wait for an album. I can't wait for a UK tour. You know, your career's still just starting. It's frightening how much you've got ahead of you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, the awards mean a lot. And yeah, it is just starting. I got a lot of shit to do,
I'll come and
so I'm going
see
to get
you.
to it.
I'll come and see. I think you guys are playing like two random dates in the UK in Sheffield. You've got like this circus kind of.
Yep.
I'll come and if it hasn't sold
If
out,
you want,
yeah,
yeah. No, I got you. Whatever you need, let me
that'd
know.
be awesome.
I mean, yeah, likewise. And yeah, for real though, if you want to come to the show,
Everyone
I got
says
you on the
this.
list
Pete
for sure.
Doherty told me this, and I messaged him, and he never replied. So it's all talk.
Does it look like I'm fucking around?
No, well, I can't see your eyes, so maybe you're like, ha.
No, just I swear.
Yeah,
Choose one. I think it's two
yeah.
dates. I'll let you know if one's better than the other, but I'll make that
Thank
happen,
you.
right?
That'd be
Yeah, I
awesome.
got you.
I can't
Seriously.
bring Florence, but yeah. Thank you, dude. I appreciate everything, and good luck with the
Yeah.
rest of the press and everything else. And
Thank you, man.
our paths will cross in Sheffield.
I appreciate it, man. Bye. Good to talk to you.
So there's my interview with me and Mikey, and guest appearance from Florence. She's making quite a name for herself now in the industry, and I notice when I get these big guests on, especially Enter Shikari, and now obviously with Queens of the Stone Age, she wants a part of it, and I'm never going to stop her. So it's great to see that she came on, and Mikey took a great shine to her, and hey, it's great. Also, I want to say a massive thanks to Mikey for coming on the podcast. It was an absolute honour, truly a dream guest. I adore Queens of the Stone Age. I'm really looking forward now to going to Sheffield. I don't know if he listens to this podcast, but I'm going to surprise him and take Ben from Skip to the End because he's one of my best friends, and we have this shared, absolute, huge love for Queens of the Stone Age together, so I can't wait to surprise him with that. Also, I want to say a massive thanks to Lydia from Hold Tight who made this interview happen. You've done so much for Mark and me. I never take any of it for granted, and I'm really, really grateful. As you're listening to this, everyone, please take the time to share these episodes. Everyone you know will know Queens of the Stone Age, but I also want to bring Mikey's other project, GLU, to people's attention. So, as you're listening to this right now, pause it, Go on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever you use, and share this episode. It takes literally the click of a couple of buttons. I say it on every episode, so I understand if you're a long-time listener and you're like, here he goes again. But it's crucial to the growth of Mark and Me and to get the name out there. And all I'm asking in return for these free episodes is just to literally click a couple of buttons. It makes a massive difference. People see the artwork, see the image, click play, and before you know it, they're subscribed, and I've got a listener for life. And all you had to do was take out your phone or laptop and hit literally a couple of buttons. So if you can do that for me, I'll be very, very grateful. I do also have a Patreon account, so if you head over to markandme.com, there's a link on there. You can click, sign up for as little as £1 a month. All that money goes right back into the podcast. It means I can go around the country to festivals and gigs, record these interviews, host it on all these different directories, because that does cost a lot of money. And in return for your Patreon, what I make sure is that you're looked after by getting a welcome pack, which comes with stickers and an exclusive badge. Every month you're going to get episodes that are only available to Patreon called The Lost Tapes. And I'll make sure you get a monthly newsletter, loads of updates, exclusive competitions, and a lot more to say thanks for supporting me via Patreon. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors of Mark and Me. First of all, Richer Sounds. If anyone out there is looking to buy a new telly, a Blu-ray player, anything to do with headphones, audio or visual, all you have to do is go on richersounds.com or head to any of their high street stores and invest your money, because they are truly the best guys out there and won't be beaten on price. And secondly, Vice Press. If you love movies, you have to go and visit vicepress.com. Those guys have everything on there which is officially licensed. It's really beautiful quality prints and posters with the best artists in the world. And honestly, if you add anything into your basket, the great guys have done a great partnership with Mark and Me. All you have to do is go into the discount code, add the code MarkandMe10 and get 10% off your first order, which is really cool. And trust me, you'll want to buy loads off that site. There's so much great things. Now, just before I say bye, I want to say a massive thanks again for everyone that listens to Mark and Me each and every week. It really is busier than it's ever been, and I'm really excited with the next few episodes. It feels like, even though I've been doing this for 8 years, the guests are getting really huge. Just today, having Queens of the Stone Age is blowing my mind. And honestly, the next few episodes are up there, and you're just going to be like, what the hell? I'm still pinching myself now. So until those episodes come, please look after yourself, go and listen to GLU, take care, and I'll speak to you all very soon.
Someone found the future as a statue in a fountain, and attention looking backward in a pool of water, wishes with a blue songbird on his shoulder, who keeps singing over everything. Everything means nothing to me. Everything means nothing to me. Everything means nothing to me. I picked up the song and found my picture in the paper. The reflection in the water showed an Iron Man still trying to salute people from a time when he was everything he's supposed to be. Everything means nothing to me. Everything means nothing to me. Everything means nothing to me.